Good, man. Good.
I'm just watching the Giants and having a whiskey.
Hey, man.
And some CBD or whatever the hell this crap is. My wife gets it for me. she says it calms me down.
Hey, that's a good way to finish the day, huh?
Nah, any kind of drug's a good way to finish the day, as long as you can get away with it.
That's it. Oh, man. Hey, man, firstly, I got to say thank you so much for taking the time, man, to chat with me.
No problem.
I've
always got some goofy story to tell somebody.
Nothing wrong with that, man. We always like goofy stories.
Oh, yeah.
Always do. Hey, I've been a fan for the longest time, 86. And I remember, just being in school listening to you guys. The Racer X stuff was, I'll tell you the truth, I think it's some of the most incredible music that I've ever heard. And that's really the truth.
Thank you.
It really is.
I'm wondering what planet this 16-year-old Paul Gilbert came from.
Boy, I'll tell you what. And you know what's cool? I grew up in North Huntington, Pennsylvania, which is probably like 10 minutes from where he grew up at.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
it's funny. I'm doing an album with Reb Jones. He's doing a solo album, and he's had these songs. He went through a goofy divorce with an insane wife, and it spawned the greatest solo album I think I've ever heard come out of anybody. These songs are so whacked and cool. But I'm playing drums on it, and the guitar player, his name is Jim Dolpha. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, yeah.
He's from West Virginia or your area somewhere.
Yeah.
And man, he sounds exactly. And this is from the horse's mouth. No one knows Paul better in the early days than me because, we're the main guys writing together. And he sounds exactly like early Paul Gilbert.
Oh, that's awesome.
Tone, and not so much the fast stuff. Just in some of his hammer-ons and pull-offs and just his little things that Paul did,
Right.
Transition in between going nuts, and it's kind of cool. This album's going to be great.
I can't wait to hear that. When you guys plan on releasing that?
Well, Reb's working on it right now. They're mixing it and shopping it. So, you don't make a shitload of money from these things anymore, but you still get them out there just so you can have some country who thinks you're cool and
right.
You get to eat their food and dine on their women and
That's it.
Go that route.
That's it. That's crazy. It's crazy anymore with some of the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
How about, back in the day, I got some questions I wanted to ask you. Like I said, being a big fan like this, how did you guys get started? I know the band,
Well, if you want to go way back as far as I'm concerned,
yeah.
I was playing with a band called St. Michael in Phoenix, Arizona, and oddly enough, the bass player from Badlands was the bass player in that band.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't think anybody else went on to do anything, but he was, Mike Varney was in his early stages of looking for guitar players. And we had this guitar player named Jim McMillan, and he was a total shanker freak. He could totally pull shanker, and that's why we're called St. Michael. and it has nothing biblical about it. And so we, what was that? I think Mike Varney was just searching everywhere for the best guitar players he could find to put on albums. So he had one of those first Shrapnel albums with, everybody sitting on a tank and throwing grenades and shit. And
right.
And I think the first song I did, and I sang it and played drums, was a song called Laser Lady. And then later on we did another one called The Beauty, the Power, or something like that. So I had like this foothold in with Barney, and in between then and there, I had stopped playing drums and became a lead singer with a band called Surgical Steel in Arizona, and Barney heard some of that. And then this thing with Paul came up where, he found Paul Gilbert, he won the thing at the Guitar Center and all that. And Barney loves to put bands together with all these different musicians that he knows. Right. So really, Barney's the one who hooked us up. And then I was living in Phoenix, Arizona at the time, and I just rode my motorcycle down and kind of auditioned at MI. You know, we just wanted to see how it went. Paul sent me up some songs. Actually, the last song on the last album we did, which is called Endless, it was first called Don't Change a Thing. Of course, everything was changed, right? And that was the first song I ever did with Paul. That's the one that he sent me the song. I wrote to it. I went to a studio in Phoenix. I sent that back, and then we got together from there and did. I think the first song was Street Lethal. He had the music, and I wrote the music to the chorus. And I got the name from a 1969 black Dodge Charger that had Street Lethal abbreviated on its back license plate.
Nice.
I can still see it. So that's kind of how we got together, you know, and then from there I went back to Phoenix, and Paul and I practically wrote that whole album over the phone. And then Varney flew me out to Katati to Prairie Sun Recording, and I fell in love with that area immediately, probably because it was, you know, some of my first real album things, playing with this kid that I thought was, you know, going to blow everybody, new Randy Rhoads, you know. Right. And, you know, we just got together and rehearsed a tiny bit and recorded, mixed and mastered that album in 99 hours.
Wow. That is amazing.
And then, of course, on Hotter Than Fire, Harry Chessa, who, you know, was the first drummer, he was a great double bass drummer, but, you know, what I'm good at drum-wise, and that's why I got the Badlands gig, and I got the gig with UFO, is I'm a real 70s style drummer. And Hotter Than Fire is kind of, you know, laggy and kind of Bonomistic, and Harry couldn't pull it. So I play most of the drums in that song, but when the Out in the Street part comes in, then it goes to double bass. Harry plays that part because I'm shite on double bass.
Oh, that is cool. That's a great story, man, to hear that.
Oh, they can all be webbed together somehow there. Yeah. You know, everything's connected to everything.
You know what's cool about that album too is I remember bringing this, you know, to my friend's attention. You know, because back then I had it on album and on cassette.
Oh yeah.
So you know, when
I got it when Varney sent me the CDs. I was going like, oh God, this is so amazing. And then they had them in these plastic things that you can hang on the wall, you know. Right. And I'm going, oh, I made it now. And I'm going, shit, all I wanted everything to be is on vinyl again. Right. It is, and it is for the most part, thank God, you know, because you got to make money with something. If you're not selling that, you're selling a T-shirt. So.
Right, that's the way it is nowadays. With everybody that we speak to is the same way. I mean, they're talking about how the vinyl's blowing up. Yeah.
I've got the new band Blasted to Static with Stu Marshall from Death Dealer, and we released almost a year to this day last year, and I've been doing nothing but promo for that. I think we barely went wood. You know, there's hardly any copies worldwide sold of that, but here we're getting 9 out of 10s and everything, and you know, unless and the label had not had the money and the budget to take us to Japan or to do anything, and you really got to push it. But there, you can actually sell copies because you'll sit in a booth for 8 hours, signing shit if they want it. You know, if they'll buy it, we'll sign it. That's what happens. That's why all those tents show up, and you can actually. God, I remember in the 70s and the 80s, you'll never meet guys from Judas Priest or anything. You know, they're running from everybody. You know, right. Now they'll sit around for hours and sign your shit if you want to buy it. It's the only way you can make money, or one of the only ways, anyway.
That's amazing how things have gone, you know, from one extreme to the other.
If you're a shyster like fucking Gene Simmons, then you really, you know, you get to take pictures with the full band for like $2,000. That Jew bastard.
Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. It doesn't matter what it is either. I mean, he could be selling toilet paper or something and be
he's the king of that. I'm surprised he's not selling the lint out of his belly button.
Right.
He probably has.
He might have.
If some hooker wasn't licking it out of there all the time, he might make some money.
Might make a jacket or something out of it.
Oh God, that's That's hard. Make it out of the hair. Shave his back.
Yeah, there you go.
Make a vest.
And then resell it.
Make a nice pair of scratchy underwear. Thanks, Gene. How the hell did we get onto this?
It was just about record sales. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good conversation. That's it.
It is.
Hey, what I wanted to say too is I think your voice honestly is awesome. I mean, you know, with the high pitch and it fit the music perfectly. You know.
Yeah, you know, that's what Paul wanted too. You know, that's what he was looking for. And you know, when push comes to shove in the final pages of Racer X, I don't know if it was the greatest thing for the band, because they were always picking me out and they being labels back then when you had to get signed by somebody. We were with Shrapnel, but Mike Varney, God bless him, he doesn't put any money in promotion. He puts one little ad in Guitar Player, and that's it. No
right.
Tour support, no nothing. So we never went anywhere. And even at we were selling out. We paid to play once, and that was it. From then on, everybody wanted us, and the door. We were making money hand over fist, and we were one of the few bands doing that, because everybody had to come see Paul, for real. And then when you add Bruce Bouillet and John Alderetti and Scott Travis in the mix, it was a 4-ring fucking circus,
Right.
And I got in the way. But I had to light my nuts on fire and scream my ass off just to keep up with those guys. So it was, pretty whacked, and that's, why a lot of labels, they just didn't get it. They wanted us to be this, I could even say once, at one of our shows at the Country Club, people were scalping tickets, and this is 1987 or 6, maybe 7.
Right.
And people are scalping our tickets for $100 to get in.
Oh, man.
And we had Columbia Records. I won't even say the guy's name, because he has caused nothing but pain and misery in my life, in 3 bands. And Ron Oberman, screw it, that guy.
Okay.
He passed on Surgical Steel. He passed on. Well, that night he came to see us because of what was going on.
Right.
And Warrant opened up for us, and he signed Warrant.
Oh,
and
man.
Adios to us. So, and of course they're always picking me out. Well, the 2 things they were always picking out was I sound too much like Rob Halford. I scream too much, this and that. And I got too much vibrato, whatever. They'll find something. And of course, on the other side of the coin, they would say, the guitars are too fast. I go, what? If we were smart, we would have done what Metallica did. They threw away the hairspray, and they moved off to San Francisco, or somebody was out of there, and they did their thing out there. And they got out of that whole L.A. bullshit scene of spandex and hairspray and that whole 9 yards that everybody had to wear to be noticed,
Right.
You were a geek. And now I look at those pictures now and holy crips. What the hell were we thinking? Especially, Surgical Steel was really nutty.
Right.
But anyway, that's that whole end of that coin. But, it was great being so huge and thinking that you're going to be Guns N' Roses, but the rose withered on the vine. And then, of course, Paul went off to Mr. Big, and those guys tried to keep the band going, and that didn't work. And then when Priest was looking for a drummer, I just told Rob, and we're good friends, I said, I got the drummer for you, This guy is it. He's the last drummer you need. Look at now, he's the longest running drummer that hasn't turned into a green globule on the drum throne.
Right.
On the Spinal Tap drum throne of life.
Right.
So it's worked well for him.
He's amazing too. I mean, he was amazing from the start.
I'm playing with him in a month from now. We've got a band together, which we got a guy from PA. Well, you probably know him. You know the band Big Jack?
I don't know that band, no.
It's a tribute to AC/DC, and the lead singer is totally a Brian Johnson guy. The hat he looks like him, he moves like him, he sounds like him. He's him. I mean, he could wander out on stage and the whole band stop playing and go, "I thought we fired you."
Right.
But we mixed it with another singer who sounds like Brian or like Bon Scott, and then I dress up like Halford, a la '83.
Okay.
You know, the hat, the whip, the whole 9 yards, and we just trade off three songs, and at the end we all trade off, and I sing Priest lyrics over AC/DC songs, and they sing AC/DC lyrics over Priest songs.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a big fiasco at the end, but we're going to be playing again. Scott loves doing this because he loves it. Mainly, he puts up with the Priest stuff with me because he obviously is a priest. It doesn't need to do anything lesser there, but he loves playing AC/DC stuff so much. So
right. Yeah, that's a big difference from what he's playing now.
Online, you'll find some of it's called Priest TDC.
I'm gonna check it out. Definitely, that's pretty neat. Singing the different lyrics over the different bands.
It's wacky anyway. It's something to kill the time.
You know, nobody's doing that, so that's something different.
Well, everybody's doing tribute bands, but they're not doing goofy stuff with it.
Right.
You know, mixing it up
That's
a
true.
little bit. You know, you can get tributized to death by one band if you know.
Right.
At some point, you'll just go, well, this isn't really the real band, but I love these songs. But when you break them up between the different areas and the different bands, it's kind of cool. And then when you see all these guys singing together, we do Another Thing Coming all together at the end. It's fun.
That's really cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll definitely check it out. And we're always looking to follow what all you guys are doing. I know.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I mean, just being fans for so long, we follow all the bands back then. I mean, we still listen. We support. Hell, I was listening to Racer X last week. I was listening today. I listen to you guys all the time.
Killer.
I mean, really.
Keep the flame alive.
That's it.
Well, at least I just had heard that Paul, on my Facebook, William Haynes, he's a very huge rock photographer, does everybody, but he did one of us, back in the day when we were, really rolling. And Paul I think he's got his pink Mockingbird. It's either a Mockingbird or it is an Ibanez, I don't know. But they just stated that he just used it again on the new Mr. Big album. So he's using Racer X guitars on Mr. Big album. So isn't that lovely? And he's doing homages now of, I think it was a half an hour long of doing Racer X songs with no vocals. Just doing, little blurbs of Street Lethal and everything. So
wow,
that's fun while I'm sitting on my rocking chair getting older.
Right. You need to be out there.
I sound a little tainted, I am. What the fuck, man? Just a couple shows a year, gee.
Oh, man.
Give a guy a break. I'm ready.
Right.
I can still sing.
I believe it. I mean, I'd love to see you guys out.
I'll stop breathing before I stop singing.
Right. That's your passion, man. You've been doing it for a while. It's good.
Well, I got a fun band around here we're called Fortress, and they decided to learn a whole bunch of Racer X stuff. But, back in the Racer X days, I did not want to sound, I did sound like Halford. That's probably the reason I really, other than Ian Gillan or David Byron from Uriah Heep, wanted to start singing. I just, train of thought here. Hold it. Let me take another pull off I got some bullet bourbon here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do some more Racer X stuff is what it comes down to, and I'm ready to do it, but I have this band around here that decided to learn all these songs Racer X-wise, but not only that, a lot of Iron Maiden, we do a lot of Old Sabbath, we do a lot of Priest, the scary Priest. I like doing the harder stuff. I don't so much like Living After Midnight or anything like that.
Right.
Doing Dissident Aggressor and Painkiller and all those cool ones.
The heavy stuff, yeah.
But, I never did that during Racer X. I never sang other people's stuff just because I didn't want to sound like somebody else. I just wanted to sound like me. And as far as Mike Varney was concerned, he says, I don't, I definitely have my own style. and people know who it is when they hear my voice. And, when I try to do Dio, I can't. I mean, he's in another world. If I sing like Dio, I'm screaming like Halford to hit the notes that he hits, sounding like, the devil himself. So
Right.
you're built for certain things, Even trying to do Bruce is really hard for me. He sings in an area that is in my gray area,
Right.
But Rob's in my wheelhouse, so.
That's the way people are. I mean, you got your own style, and you, like you said, you in the wheelhouse right there.
Right.
Certain
When
guys,
Racer X finally gets together and Ripper Owens is singing the stuff, maybe he'll realize how much fun it is and how hard it is. Because actually, it'll be easy for him because he's great at Rob, and so there you go. Just making a joke there.
Right.
Probably will happen.
I hope not, man. I'd love to see you guys, get it back rolling again.
I'd love to go. It's not that hard to do one album every couple 3 years and go on a House of Blues tour. You don't have to go pound the pavement, till your ankles are bloody.
Right.
Just have a good little tour and do that every now and then, and it sure would be fun. I know Scott wants to do it. I know Bruce wanted to do it. I mean, me and Bruce, that's how I got into Blasted to Static and put the band together, because Bruce and he contacted me with, he had 30 or 40 songs, and I wrote 25 of them, and our evil plan was to send a song a day to Paul till he broke, but first day he broke right away and said, I really don't do metal anymore. He's just doing what he's doing, so, which is fine. That's, it's his life, and that's what he wants to do. But it sure would be fun to get out there and appease some of the fans and have fun again. I mean, we really actually did have a lot of fun in that band, especially recording. So,
you guys had a different style, beyond everybody else. I mean, number one is that everybody was a top-notch musician. I mean, it was a musician's band. I mean, before
we called the front row the folded men, because there'd be all these guys in the front row, standing at the edge of the stage, and you knew every one of them, was a musician.
Right.
They'd be, and the reason we call them folded men is because they sit there with their arms crossed.
Right.
And what you got? Okay, show me what you got.
Right.
So we were playing all these folded men. So, it's kind of hard to get those guys to get their arms in the air and get people rocking.
Boy, that's a truth.
That got a little old. But that was kind of mainly in the very beginning. And it kind of, that dwindled away a little more as we got going. So.
You know what? What I was going to ask you, too, is like when you went into, like the second Heat album, and one of my favorite songs off of that is Sunlit Nights.
Oh, yeah.
And I know
that to my now wife. She was my girlfriend then.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's... I was going to say, that seems like it's, if they say, that about your singing and complaining about it, I think they need to look at that song and say, hey, look, this guy can handle it.
Yeah. And try to fold and manipulate me. Turn me into a folded man. And that's, believe me, we got it from Warner Brothers. I mean, I saw it all. We had this new kid from Warner Brothers Records. I think he had just started in A&R. He was a kid of one of the big A&R guys.
Right.
And he came to see us at the country club before we played while we were doing sound check. So we did a couple songs off an album we just did. I think, we did 3 songs for him. One of them was Moon Age Daydream.
Okay.
And so we come off stage, and we're all huddled around this guy. They always like to act like the old man of the sea. Well, you guys are really great, but this is what you really need to do, this and that. And he points at me and goes, and what is with these lyrics? I mean, you need to be a better lyricist. You need to be a better writer. He goes, well, what are you talking about? It's that Moon Age Daydream thing. I go, well, I just said, well, I think you better go find David Bowie and tell him what a shitty writer he is. And I just walked out.
Exactly.
I walked out of the room. I just, this is the kind of shit you got to deal with,
Yeah, totally clueless, huh?
Yeah.
And the cover of that song that you guys did is amazing. That really is.
Some people love it, some people hate it. But that's one of my top 10 albums of all times is Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars.
Right. And you nailed that song. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a cool rendition of it.
Jake always told me, why do a cover of a song unless you're going to change it and make it your own? So.
Right.
And we changed it up. It's minorly 80s. Well, it's not minorly, it's fully 80s, but it's still cool. It jumps. It's cool. Yeah. I just did it recently. A year ago, we played at, I had, just to make my life harder, of course, I started this new band with guys from Sydney, Australia. So I wanted to get all my musicians as far away from me as I could. So playing was just impossible. I finally flew them down. We flew them down here. We did a NAMM show, and we played at the Whiskey, and it was right after David passed away, and I did that for him, and had a little speech about it. I forgot what I said, but I even choked myself up. It was good.
That's good. That's a shame that to see somebody like that pass away. I mean, that's such a huge hit to the music business and the history of the music. Jeez.
It's just nonstop, though, isn't it? I mean, but we're getting to that age where it's going to be nonstop. There's going to be somebody dropping every month here coming up.
Right.
I may be next. Who knows?
That's a shame, man. Thinking about all that.
Yeah. Well, especially when they go before their time, like Chris. I mean, that guy. If anybody who's ever come out of the Seattle area had more talent, it was Chris Cornell. There's nobody with more talent than that guy, bar none. And I'm going off the beaten track on that one because, when you think about Queensryche doing Operation Mindcrime, I mean, that album should have got a Grammy. Sometimes at the end of that album, I just start crying because it's just so amazing. It's so well written, and it's just, the chemistry is just ridiculous.
It is.
But when you talk about Chris, I mean, with Audio Slave and all the stuff he did, his writing, his voice, just everything.
Right.
But, the tortured soul is the one that can connect with other souls a lot of times. And unfortunately, it's Tears of a Clown. And you never know how beat up somebody is until you find him hanging in his room or dead from an overdose,
And it sounded like nobody even saw that coming. I mean, at all.
I think a lot of people knew he had a depression problem. I have a depression problem. I mean, there's a lot of songs of mine where I finally started reaching out to people, because I realized that the best thing you can do for somebody who's depressed is to let them know that there's other people that are depressed too, and we understand, and we get it, and we feel for you.
Right.
And let me cry for you, You don't have to cry. Let me cry, because I know how fucking shitty you feel.
Right.
And if that were to happen more, we would lose a lot less people. So, I have 151 Idiots. I have all these different songs from either my solo album or definitely the last bunch of Racer X albums from, when we were on Universal. I started diving into that a little more.
Right.
And Empty Man is one. And I'm trying to think. But I've got some good ones on the new album. But, I think it's a good thing to do. I also think it's a good thing to let people know that there's Jesus, but there's also the devil, too. It's kind of like how Alice Cooper goes about things,
Right.
He's actually a real Christian sort of guy, but he'll scare you into going to the other side, is what his evil plan is.
Right. He does it well, too, man.
Yeah. So, there you go.
He really does.
That's so sad about Chris. I mean, that's just like, he's the best of Seattle, and we're talking about Heart, we're talking about Queensryche, and all the other grunge bands, including Nirvana. I mean,
Right.
He may have started something, but he by no means has, doesn't have the talent of Chris. No way.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even close. You're right.
There you have it.
You're right. Hey, whenever you guys got Bruce into the band, what was that like as far as a transition? I mean, going from Paul handling all the guitar work to bringing Bruce in, because those guys.
It was smooth. Well, it was real smooth because Bruce was at MI.
Right.
Taking less. I'm pretty sure he was going to school there. I don't think he was teaching, but right away he could teach, and I think he did. But he would be in class, and Paul would be teaching. All these kids and from all over the place.
Right.
And he just immediately. I remember him coming back from school one day. He goes, "Man, I found this great guitar player, and these dual leads we're doing are just unbelievable. If one knocks you over, wait till there's two."
Right.
And of course he was right.
Right.
I think we got number 2 in the best dual leads ever done, and of course it's Scarify, having that lead go all the way through there. But
that's crazy. Yep.
But I remember those guys figuring out, and Heart of the Lion I pulled out of my ass at the 11th hour.
Right.
When we were doing second heat, because we were short a couple songs, and Bruce wrote one, which is probably the worst song lyrically I ever wrote to, which is Lady Killers.
Right.
I don't like when I did put that one. It's not me, but there it is. And the other one is Heart of a Lion, and I remember Rob coming back from Ibiza, Spain. They were doing Defenders of the Faith. And we were all living in Phoenix at the time. He goes, "Hey Jeffy, got on new songs. Listen down to them. There's 2 songs that didn't make the album. One was called Bad Girls Wear Leather, and the other one was Heart of the Lion. And Bad Girls Wear Leather turned into Eat Me Alive. They just changed the chorus on it, but Bad Girls Wear Leather was way. I loved it better. Those are my favorite 2 songs on the album. Neither of them made it. So I had the tape with me too, but for some crazy reason I had a cassette tape of it, which I think Scott stole, and it had that original version, and I played it for everybody, and they were all, see if you can get it. It was it was around my birthday. I asked Rob, for my birthday, can I do the song?
Right.
And he hung up, called me back 15 minutes later. "It's yours, Jeffy, go."
Nice.
When Tipton heard it, he flipped out. He didn't know that it went off to somebody else, let alone these 2 unbelievable guitar players. And lo and behold, I give you Painkiller. And what is Tipton doing?
Right.
Arpeggios and string skipping. And
right.
He's got the drummer from Racer X.
Unbelievable.
What a wacky world we live in.
That is. That's crazy.
As much as I've been influenced by Judas Priest, which is just tons and tons, it's immeasurable. Just to have a little snippet like that where we get a Judas Priest song, and then in turn it changes the way that, and to me Tipton is one of the best musical directors, because he really is a musical director of Judas Priest, I think. I've never brought it up to him, but you can just tell through the writing he's like the bass player from Iron Maiden. He's the guy that puts it all together, kind of, and structures it into a Priest song. And to have it turned, have them sound a little Racer X-y, and then have the Racer X drummer. That's kind of cool. Don't pinch me.
Yeah, that's the ultimate compliment right there.
It is.
It really is. That really is. And you brought up. It was funny. You brought up. Lady Killer. I was just listening to that. That was this morning, and lyrically, I know you say about the the lyrics and everything, but the music.
So 80s goofball.
Right. But the music in the song is incredible.
Oh, the music was fantastic. I'm just talking about me.
Right.
I think I still feel I let Bruce down on that one. I don't know why he gave me all these other songs to write, but he's got this shitload of songs, and actually one of them is on the Blasted to Static album. If you want to download that, give me 99 cents. That'd be fun.
Absolutely, that body album.
It's the last song on the album. It's called War Baby, and that's one that Bruce and I wrote from all those songs that we wrote to try to try to get Paul and hopped up to do another album.
And try to get him motivated again.
Didn't work.
You know,
Nothing will work.
He's so different in Mr. Big too. I mean, what he does. I mean, I think their first album he was a little more, you know, the more technical side. But it seems like now they're starting to get a little.
Yeah, you know, he went through. He definitely told me, you know, I'm on my BB King period. I'm in my third month of just trying to decipher what makes BB King him and play like him and how he stretches notes. Paul's all about stretching notes now. You know, you give one note, you let them wank it all over the place and vibrato it. That's really important. Other than skipping around and doing these, you know, which he has. You know, the first thing when I did all those solo albums with him and did the tours in Japan with Paul Gilbert solo stuff, and I was drumming.
Right.
Wherever we were going to sign, you know, or I'd be at a place where he would be signing things. Every single Japanese person that would come, they'd hold their hand straight up, and he'd have to put the palm of his hand on their hand just so they can actually see how long his fingers are. Because, you know, what is it, 7 or 8 frets from his pinky to his, you know, when you got that going for you, there's crazy crap you can do. And that's why it's, you know.
Right.
It's like if you were a drummer trying to play like Simon Phillips, you know, can lead off with either hand anytime he wants. You know, he's not. Long story short, unfair advantage to the rest of us mortals.
That's it. 8 fret stretch. That's amazing.
I'm pretty sure he's either 7 or 8, something like that. It's silly, you know. But his hand is just so big.
And what about
they say big hands?
Yeah, it's
big note stretches.
That's it. What about how about John on bass? I mean, that's another guy that really doesn't get he doesn't get the accolades that he deserves.
He's been on Bass Player Magazine about 1,000 times now. He's done well, you know, doing the Mars Volta thing and very artsy bands that he's been playing in, and now not now, but he's totally. Some people have a problem with heroin or a problem with whipped cream or something that you can't lay off of. His problem is with electronic pedals. He's got like 80 billion of them. He's got every old pedal. If you go on his page, he's laying in the middle of this room with all these bread racks, and there's thousands of these fucking things. And he knows what they all do, which is really crazy. And, you know, even on, especially when we did Getting Heavier, like Dr. X, listen to some of the effects on there. That shit is all live, and Paul put no rhythm guitar on that album. That's why a lot of people don't like it, because it doesn't have all the thick guitar work with extra guitar rhythms while there's a lead going on. We just so yeah, he is a maniac for pedals, and he knows all about, you know, if you need a sound, he knows what pedal to go to. Right.
He is. I guess if you look at the entire band, I mean, there's everybody is just, you know, just
everybody's gone off to stuff, cool stuff. Yeah.
Right.
I've done mainly, you know, up until I've like a little treasure. I've kept my voice just all for Race X.
Right.
What an idiot. You know, but I had, you know, because I really had a hard time singing or writing to anything other than with Paul. So when I found Stu Marshall, that's why I just recently, and I did a solo album right before this too, in 2005, but Paul Gilbert's on it, Michael Schenker's on it, Russ Parrish from Steel Panthers on it, and I got Rev Jones playing bass, and I got 2 cellos and a violin run through a tube screamer and a Marshall amplifier.
Oh, that's cool.
I just wanted to get a little weird and avant-garde, but you know, it sounds great. It sounds like super overdriven Zeppelin on some of the stuff. But
it's good stuff.
Yeah, the drumming I've done. I've played with UFO. Obviously with Badlands, UFO. I played with Mato Nagy just recently. We got a NAMI, which is a American Indian Grammy, so I actually got a Grammy for Best Album and Best New Artist.
Cool.
I never got the trophy. I was told I won this.
Right.
But, you know, then with Dokken, which was a fiasco, and made me completely want to stop ever playing in an 80s band as far as drums are concerned.
Right.
Because I was never a drummer in the 80s.
Right. That's true.
Absolutely never until the end of the 80s, where I picked up with Paul, and he wanted to stop doing these guitar seminars. He wanted to just play songs. So I said, you know, he came, let's learn all these great old songs and wear kooky clothes. And we put this band together called the Electric Fence. And you can find those videos too. 5 separate shows we did at MI with Russ Parrish on bass or guitar. He's all turning off it.
Right.
And, you know, that's where I got my chops back, drumming again. But I got them back with old songs from 70s and 60s. I didn't get them back from 80s songs. I mean, I just absolutely didn't play drums in the 80s that much.
You were influenced more in the 70s too, so that was probably
fully
enjoyable. Yeah.
Starting with Ringo, you know, to get you just going on the drums, and then I wanted to be a really good drummer, and I remember seeing my brother come back from college, and he left the first Jimi Hendrix album, Are You Experienced, and I saw that. I put that on. I heard Mitch Mitchell, and then I wanted to be a good drummer.
That guy was amazing.
Yeah. Then, of course, you got Ginger Baker. I mean, I'm all Ludwig guys. Ginger Baker, John Bonham, Mitch Mitchell, Ian Pace from Deep Purple, Don Brewer from Grand Funk. I love those guys.
Right.
Fucking riffing rock legends. But at the same time, they got lag, feel. You know, they're not just going, we put holes in teeth, which is boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, ka, which is every Dokken song.
Right.
Sometimes I didn't know what fucking song I was in.
Right.
I'll just play this beat. It'll probably fit. Yep, it did.
And then, make it work. That's crazy. What do you like doing better? Do you like you singing better, or do you like playing the drums better?
You know, singing can be really rewarding, and I really like the writing part of it.
Right.
And then singing what you write and emotionally getting that out. But it's really hard to be a singer on the road and keep your pipes going.
Right.
I can play drum. I can be puking ass sick drunk and still play the drums perfectly fine.
Right.
So,
right.
you know, you've got to be, you know, sitting there with a mask on, no allergies, and no, you know,
Right.
Your voice is your instrument, so it's really, it's hard. You have to be such a cut above to get on the road and do what a guy like Dio does, or what a guy like Rob does, and has done for ages and ages. It's
Right.
because what they do, they make it look so easy. And, you know, I wrestle notes sometimes, so, you know. I really like playing drums, by the way.
Right.
But it's rewarding to be a singer and to be on, you know. It
Right,
really
right.
is. And so, you know, kind of torn, you know.
Right.
You're torn against the not so good looking fat girl that will love you to the end of time, and she's easy to be around, or the really beautiful girl
Right.
who is running around with all these other people. You
Right,
never
right.
know if she's going to be around. So that's singing and drumming right there. And
Right. That's true.
yeah. So what are you going to do?
That's it. I know.
Close your eyes and think about the good-looking girl, I guess. While you're doing the fat girl. Where?
That's it. You were just talking about about being doing the tours and everything, and singing live and everything out there, and that brings me to the Extreme Volume CDs, which I think are excellent CDs. I mean, live CDs, and the sound that you guys got on those, and some of the stuff that went into it.
Yeah.
It was really cool,
everybody
man.
Everybody was about tone. I remember Paul always saying about tone. And everybody's sound on stage was just so freaking good. I mean, all you had to do was set a mic in front of it, and you were done, you know?
Right.
And now I have a voice live where I use echo when I want it, and I use all these different effects, you know? And
Right.
Back then, I didn't have any of that shit. They just turned the mic on, and that was it. Hope for the best. But I was always about. I really love production, and I love a lot of studio stuff. So.
Right.
I need my pedal board now too. I gotta call John.
Yeah.
I like the voice live thing, but it just has too much kooky stuff that you would never use. I just need a good couple of pedals that make my voice pitching, and
Right.
I'd be happy, And I need that one pedal when I suck. That's like just totally dripping wet.
Right.
You can sing lower, and it's an octave higher. And, oh man.
Right. Hey, that nothing wrong with that.
No, as long as you show up and you're smiling.
Yeah, that's all they want to see.
That's half the battle, especially when you get as old as me.
That's really cool, man. To hear some of that stuff.
Yeah.
How about when
The
you?
inside scoop.
Yeah, the inside scoop. The inside scoop. So what about some of the stuff that you're doing now? Like, is there anything that you want to get out to the fans? That we can help you to
check
promote.
out, I tried, and I didn't try, but of course, Stu Marshall, who I got in touch with through Bruce Bouillet while we were doing here's how this tangled web that we weave. While I was doing these bunch of songs to try to get Paul to do another Racer X album. In the meantime, Bruce was giving lessons online. You could Skype him, and this cat, Stu Marshall from Sydney, Australia, Death Dealer, and now he's got a new band called Night Legion, which is just, in the area of Sydney and in Australia.
Okay.
He just wanted to get out and play around because he hadn't been so long. But he was doing some lessons with Bruce, and he asked Bruce, because every year he does an album. It's called, what the heck's it called? Empires of Eden, and he has like Udo. He's got all his favorite singers on it, and he pays them a bunch of money. And he contacted me, and he says, "Hey, I got 6 songs. I want one of them to be on this Empires of Eden album, and the other ones I'll just pay you for. And if I do a solo album, I've got Jeff Martin singing on it, and I'll need a happy Aussie guy."
Right.
And by the second song, I got a hold of him, and I said, "Dude, and like I said, I haven't done a lot of albums with other people vocal-wise because I just don't get that connection. I get tapes all the time, or had gotten tapes for a period of time, of the greatest guitar players you've ever heard who cannot write a song
Right.
to save their soul, and it killed me, and if I would have got one of these guys because Paul comes from the Beatles and all the stuff that I do, he comes from melody. He doesn't come solely from, Yngwie or, all that kind of stuff. He comes from a lot of great stuff. So for some reason, Stu has all this great melody and stuff, and you'll hear that new band's called Blasted Static. It was released a year ago. We're starting to work on another album now, but we tried to incorporate, didn't try because he's a fan. We have some Racer X sounding stuff, but we also have some 70s vintage, just thumping rock and roll sounding stuff too. But what I did on this album is, and we started off right away saying that I love the old Sabbath albums. I love the old Priest albums. I love the old Queen albums that rock your ass off on a couple songs, and then all of a sudden they give you a sonic palette cleaner, like Last Rose of Summer by Priest, or you'll get Changes or Fluff or all these weird things that Sabbath would do to change up gears and give you a break, because 10 all the time. Some of these bands now sound like an old bastard, but around 11 from the first note to the end, and you just walk out the door to the shell shock.
Right.
I love those older albums that would do that and just give you a breather and a little palette cleaner, sonic palette cleaner. And that's how this album is. So I have 2 songs on there that are like that really dive down and take a break, and then kick your ass on the next one. So
cool.
And well, anyway, Reb Jones is on it from MSG and from Leslie West. He's just a maniac too. So, and it's got some really great stuff on it. I think it's a cool album, man. It's on vinyl if you people want to get vinyl because it is a German company.
Okay.
And you can get it on, go to blastedstatic.com, or you can get it on, Spotify or any electronic crap. Get it, so.
Anything I listen to always has to be physical. I mean,
Well, and it's great because, like my solo album, I did this huge booklet and all this stuff, thinking that people will buy it. Well, with Blasted Static, I said we're going as simple as possible. Well, the Germans said no, and now it's a digipack with a booklet and it's got all this stuff. So it does have some cool stuff in there. That's my daughter on the cover.
Cool.
Who dresses like that when she goes into the mosh pit. She's more metal than I'll ever be. Comes back all cut up, bruised. And
oh, man.
a couple of guys' teeth wrapped in her top pocket. Look at this, Dad.
Mementos.
Yeah. He's going to make a necklace.
Yeah, it is. That's cool. I'm going to check that stuff out there, definitely.
Heads next.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to check this stuff out there.
That stuff is, I think people, if you like Racer X, you'll like parts of that. And my voice is there. And one thing that I was really, really surprised, probably the best compliment anybody has ever given to me. And it was throughout a bunch of European magazines were saying that they'd never realized how much Racer X sound was incorporated around having my voice there. And
right.
Once they heard Blasted to Static, they really realized that, that it sounds Racer X because I'm singing, so.
Right.
There's some priesty Racer X-y sounding stuff on there, so yeah, I think you'll dig it.
I'm definitely going to check that out, no doubt.
I need to go eat at Sizzler tomorrow, so buy a couple copies.
Hey, I'll get the word out there.
Hook a G up.
I'll jump on there and definitely get a copy of that. Yeah, because I always, like I said, if I know you're on it, I'm gonna have it.
Cool. Well, if we ever get out and tour, I will sign them personally and buy you a beer.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'd love
free beer comes with all my signings. I just got a Budweiser endorsement, so if you want any of that good stuff, forget it.
That's cool. I hope that you guys get a chance, to get out and do a tour with any of the stuff that you're doing. It'd be awesome to see.
Before I croak, anyway, like I said, you probably will see it. Ripper will be singing.
Oh man, I hope it's not that way, man.
Me too.
I hope not.
Definitely me too.
You got to have the original, man.
There's been decades going by here,
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. He just doesn't want to play metal anymore, and it's all up to Paul because there's no reason to do it unless Paul's playing the guitar. It's just not.
Right.
And believe me, I've had some players that are just awesome. They sound, Oh man, we got another home run. Sorry.
Oh no, good.
I'm watching a ball game.
Good.
I'm a Giants fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've had guitar players that you can get you and Scott get a couple new guitars. No, it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly without John or Paul or anybody because it's a chemistry thing.
You're right.
One of my favorite bands ever is Stone Temple Pilots. Now that Scott Weiland's gone, they'll forget it. It's done.
Right.
And those guys have tried to get other singers before through his drug era, and it just didn't work. There's one of the few bands that you really can say, you take one member out, it's just, forget it. Just hang it up.
Right.
It's God bless them. Zeppelin's going to do maybe another tour with Jason Bonham, and, we'll be happy to see these guys doing that stuff, but without. And they knew it. That's why they never did any of these new albums after John was gone, because
right.
What's the use?
Right.
That's how big that got in that band, and all of them. John Paul Jones. I mean,
right.
I just did a remake of No Quarter where I'm singing and playing the drums on it, and doing a lot of this stuff for TV's a movie now.
Oh,
and
nice.
You just realize, when you hear John Paul Jones, that's all that No Quarter. That's practically all him. is just so amazing. And I tried to count out, when I was learning the song to record this thing, there's absolutely no click on that. There's half and full beats just skipping all over the place.
Right.
Just for the love of giving it a breath and a feel.
Right.
And that's special stuff there. But that's what I did in Mad Labs too. We didn't use a click there. I don't use a click in a band called Blindside Blues Band with Mike Inesco. And that stuff is very 70s blues rock stuff. So, but that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at. Well, I can play to a click. Anybody can play to a click. But
right.
Let's shine where we shine and don't put the light on the basket.
That's it. How about any last words, Jeff? Anything else you want to get out there, and that we can spread the word for you?
Just keep it alive. Keep digging it. It's really hard to keep this stuff alive when God, you have to dig around to get record deals, or there's not even deals anymore. Just find somebody to put it out there so you all can hear it. But you won't be able to hear this unless you get behind it, you back it up, and you buy some of it, and help fund this.
Right.
It's at a turning point here. Going one way or another.
Right. I agree.
Just keep the flame alive. That's all I can say. Then, like I said, I'm happy to do this stuff for free, and I am doing it for free. So,
right.
Try to get out there and buy some of these bands. Buy the Blasted to Static album. Night Legion, that's a new band that's coming out. Really cool. And, give us some love, and we'll love you back.
You got it here, man, definitely.
And that's how we actually can finally get these labels that we are having some kind of a deal with to fork out some money to get us on a bus or fly us to Japan or fly us here and there to come and play live shows. Because other than that, you're not going to see it because it just financially it just falls in the hole immediately. So
right.
Yeah, you just got to back it up, and through that you'll actually get to see the stuff live and get to buy a T-shirt and get that free beer I promised.
That's it. Hey, that's incentive enough right there, man.
There you go. How can you end on a better note? Free beer.
That's it. Hey, I just want to say thank you, man, for for taking the time to talk with me and for bringing out the great music that you have, in the past and now, the people that are true fans and really, appreciate what you guys do. I mean, we're still behind you. We still love the music, and we're going to be fans forever. It's part of our lives, and it's awesome.
And teach your children well.
That's the truth.
Nothing makes my heart soar like a hawk to see some little kid come up and he's singing Street Lethal or something. I'm going, really?
Right.
And this is timeless. Plus, I love kids, so
right. That's the truth. We're starting to see more younger kids at the shows now too. So that's great to see. It really is.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of like if you want to, if Racer X is anything, and Paul always hated the connotation of calling this music shred because where he gets it from is like Bach and different, really, really unbelievable musicians throughout the ages.
Right.
And to call it shred is kind of, demeaning to him. Doesn't hurt my feelings, but we are kind of the muddy waters of shred. We're the first guys to start bringing that stuff around, along with a few others. But
right,
and it's kind of a neat feeling to be the first of a genre of sort of kind of music, but at the same time, always trying to have melody in that, and not just rip your face off for the sake of ripping your face off. Although that's happened too.
Right.
But anyway, we got to end that somewhere, so let's end it on ripping your face off. And
that's it. That's it.
Well, okay, man.
I'll get a copy of this to you, and we'll put it together. And
let me know what you think.
You got it. We'll send it to you. You give it the blessing, and we'll get it out there and on the website, on the on YouTube and everything else that we do. And
Okay,
And,
sounds good, bro.
You got it, man. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for your time,
All right,
man. And
take care.
I'm gonna listen to this stuff,
I'm
man.
gonna watch my team win.
You got it. You got it.
See ya.
Have a good night, man. I'll see you.
Take care.
You too. Bye bye.